Welcome back to Anime Savants, everyone. Oh wow. Oh, this week I am Medion.
Damn.
Nobody know what that is. Don't nobody know what that is unless you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Some deep cuts this week. I have so many things to choose from. This week I am Grappler from DNF Fighters, which dropped. DNF Dual Fighters. There we go.
I've been getting like recommended YouTube stuff for that, and I'm like, what? It looks cool. It looks
It's
good,
great.
but I can't
Beta
buy
was
another
this
fighter.
Week, easy to play. I understand. Well, we don't know yet what the model is. It might even be free to play since the original game itself was free to play. That's what people are hoping. They're hoping that they're going with the free to play model here. But
okay, well,
looks good.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And it's very anime for those who are not into fighting games. It's a very anime fighting game.
I mean, that's what caught my eye, but I'm legit like, I bought Grand Blue Fantasy Fighters or whatever, or Versus, and it was fun. But then I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, can I put in the time to get at this? I bought Strive. I was like, oh, I'm about to put in all this time.
I was putting in some work on Strive.
I was trying to figure out who the fuck I wanted to play. I didn't know who I wanted to play because there were so many options, and now Biken's coming out. But then I wanted to play Biken and Dizzy because they're in Epic 7. And so I was like, oh shit, I want to play them. And anyways, yeah, I was gonna play. What is his name? Jin? Or am I thinking
Anji?
Blaze Blue?
You talking about Anji, the one with the blue guy with the fans, maybe?
No, not with the fans. I gotta know it. I didn't like. I wanted to play him, but I was like, I don't like his play style. No, it was the it's the one the second protagonist next to
Ki or Kai. Sorry,
Kai. Yeah, Kai. Yeah, okay, Kai.
Yeah,
so Jin is his copy in Blaze Blue, I think. So and I started Arc System games with like Blaze Blue. And then I was like, oh, Guilty Gear like came before this, and whatever. Anyway.
I'm an OG Guilty Gear player all the way back to Guilty Gear X on Dreamcast. That was my shit. And I didn't even know what I was doing back then. It was just a hype ass game with all this like rock music and these cool ass characters, and yeah. So that's where I'm at.
The rock music actually turned me away for a minute because I was just like, I don't. Is that me? I don't think that's me. I'm gonna leave that. I mean,
all we had other than that would have been like Def Jam Vendetta. Like there was no variety. It's like Street Fighter was just game music to me. Yeah.
All right. So let's get started.
Where to begin? We got some returners this week.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get this out the way.
Let's go.
What the fuck are we doing? Why the fuck did we do this? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Why the fuck are they cousins? 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 We didn't need this. We didn't need this. We didn't need this. I don't think we need it. But why the fuck are they cousins? And I had someone comment on one of my videos, and they were like, oh, well, they might not be first cousins. I don't care.
The fucking audacity.
I don't care if it's your third or your fourth cousin. That's your cousin. Like, you have active family members alive that know each other and know y'all.
Golf clap for Rui Tsukiyo. Golf clap. Nigga, you did it. You did it. Right under our noses. We all got right under our noses. The best part about it, or the worst, depending on your feelings about it, is that his dad knew the whole time. And he was like happy for his son. Like, yeah, go bone your cousin. It reminds me of you being your mom. And it's like, yeah, because you're all related.
Like, maybe I actually think I said that in my video. I was like, you know what? I would accept this if like the mom was from a branch family or some shit like that. Or like the recessive trait is like, it's like that white hair trait, it's like dominant. So like the branch family is like 10 times removed from the original bloodline or whatever. Then I'd be like, okay, you know, there's been worse, but you went the worst way. You went the weird way.
Shameless didn't give a fuck. Where's that? We need some sound drops. We need that Jadakiss. We did it, baby.
You did it, baby.
I didn't put that in there.
Congratulations, homie. You made history.
Like, what are we doing? Like this. Okay, so if since we're just talking about it, if we even go back to the last episode, what did we say? We said, oh, great. They're adding some complication. You know, they're getting political. Oh, this is good for some death. Nigga, I wasn't talking about your genealogy and who you're trying to find. That's not what I was talking about. That wasn't it. So yeah, so okay. So Dia is Lou's cousin. It's a thing now. It's canon. Now, if he'd had to kill her still, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I could. They snuck it in on us, but then now she gone, so it's like it's whatever.
But we know that's not happening.
But we know that's not happening.
Yeah, because of the first episodes. Yeah.
We know that's not happening. So
did she know? She must have known. She
not know? How could she not know?
Okay, yeah.
For the beginning, because why was she brought in the first place? It was to train him in magic. Now we know that the connection was always there. There's no way that like she'd look at his mom and be like, oh, that's just another random chick with white hair. Like, she's from the same family. Like, this is her something. This is her cousin somehow through all this shit. So like, everybody knew. Everybody knew except Lou and us.
And Tart.
Right? Yeah, right.
I mean, I feel like Maha probably knew and was like, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But they just brushed over. I mean, listen, we're reacting like this, but like this was the emotional climax of this episode in the first couple of minutes. So like they just moved right the fuck on. It's like, yep, I'm in love with her, and here we go.
The main reason why I feel like we're reacting, or one of the main reasons why I'm reacting this way, is because we have told y'all how we feel about Mahoka and that fuck shit. So it's kind of just like,
I prefer this wasn't the case.
I would also. I'm not giving up on the show.
Oh no. Because right now the show is not about the desperate need to fuck your sister, and there's nothing else in there. That's why I'm not giving up on it. I'm just unhappy.
And they're getting. Can you believe they're giving them an origin story of how they used to hate each other and to make it? Y'all keep giving them money. Y'all, it's your fault. It's y'all's. And I always say, when I say y'all, I mean the Mahoka stance. It's y'all's.
Yeah, it's not everybody. Fault. It's this tiny niche fan base. Now, I will say that minus this, the show itself is not about incest. So I'm going to just put that away in my little box of annoyances that I will bring out when we review the series in its finality. You know, okay, fine, whatever. As far as like the other things that happened in this episode, it was really more strategic and action oriented. We did have the beginning after the reveal, basically like Tart's determination, which I thought was actually handled in a pretty good way and pretty emotional. And she's into him, and that whole thing about the running as an allegory that she breaks down at the end, because you know they kind of have that conversation, and it's, you know,
that was very engaging. And then he runs off into the sunset to go get his cousin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Why you gotta bring that up? I'm trying to move past. I'm trying.
Okay, let's move past it. Okay.
I'm trying desperately.
Okay.
To move past that fact, but
so something happened with Maha also.
That is correct.
But that we didn't see, but that's like at the very end. So.
Yeah, it's at the end.
Yeah.
Related to these treasures, and we also got a goddess scene as well, right? Did we not?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That I think was pretty interesting. Because now,
are we gonna see her go back to how she used to be, or is it just like beep beep boop like machine AI?
I'm curious. Like this whole system that seems to exist, definitely does now strongly remind me of the setup for Cautious Hero, just not the comedy, but just the concept. So I'm presuming maybe so there's one of two ways that you could interpret the scene we got. One is that there are multiple worlds and they all have goddess administrators whose job it is to sort of set up the chain of events that need to happen around the hero, the Demon King, and so on. The other might be that there is one world or a few worlds, but there are multiple goddesses, all of whom are trying to accomplish that same task. Because the only thing that was a little weird to me, and I don't know if I assume they'll get to it this season, but maybe it'll be next season. So when few episodes ago, when they introduced the possibility that the hero could be with this other army that was attacking the kingdom that Dia's family was involved with, they were very clear to say that it was a not candidate, but like it wasn't sure. There's a very strong person with the treasure, but it might not be a hero. So does that mean that there are many possible heroes? We know that in one of the goddess scenes from 2 weeks ago, she brought in a trainer, right? So so I don't know. I'm just curious about what the details there are, and will that play into the plot this year? I don't know.
I had someone say that they were like, she still has to make the hero good enough to kill the demon lord. I think that's her job too. So it's not just like, oh, the hero's born like OP, like by default. I think she has to help the hero, but then also like start laying plans simultaneously to take his ass out because they know, or maybe, I don't know. I feel like this is going to like flip and Lug is gonna somehow like befriend the hero
or decide not to kill him.
Yeah, and then it's going to basically be, well, I just went against the goddess thing, and actually I found out some world order thing, so now I'm about to kill the goddess.
Right. You know, the interesting thing is that the way that this story is written could easily have like a B-side light novel where it's from the hero's perspective, and they don't really run across each other, you know, presumably until very close to the end of the series. I mean, I know that probably doesn't exist, but like this feels like something where you could do that and get some leg room for the story. But anyway, so we know that we get all the stuff with Tart running in the wind. It was cool. They give a little more information about like the practicality of the magic, and I've always appreciated that about this story, is that there is some tech to that system. Then we get probably about like the last 6 to 7 minutes is, I'm gonna call it the castle infiltration, but it was really just him murdering lots of people.
Yeah, to be honest, I was kind of disappointed with the Farstones, because the way that they hyped them up early on and the way that he was making it seem, I was like, oh, those were like mini nukes or some shit like that.
Yeah. So I also felt the same way. However, I think there was a line of dialogue in this episode where Lou says that his goal is not to wipe out the enemy army, which presumably he could do with an overcharged Farstone if he wanted to, because he was like, well, they'll just come back again. And what he's attempting to do is create a plausible scenario where Dia can be killed in a way that would be believable to her own people, so that then they wouldn't rise up or believe or disbelieve that is what actually happened. And so I think his goal was to weaken the army outside just enough so that the defenders inside would attack, therefore clearing the castle so he could kind of do what he wanted to do to set up this situation, because he grabbed a replacement body and other things. So like he was still doing like assassin stuff. It wasn't like one of those cases where the hero is an assassin and then for the purpose of some big ass action scene, he's just another like ridiculous warrior on a battlefield killing lots of people. He was sneaking around and he was doing subterfuge and
which I feel like he didn't even really need to do. I will say that him like sniping the magic users, I was like, okay, that's cool. And the way that those bodies were dropping, I was like, damn.
And they don't know nothing about guns. They kept calling like,
the metal pellets.
Metal pellets. I'm like, another one? Man, could you imagine that you just start getting shot with bullets and bullets don't exist in your world? It's a wrap. So yeah. So other than that, he gets in there. They have a quick scene at the end. where they see each other for the first time. No more dialogue, and then we have the last scene with Maha talking about some shocking information that came in. I don't know. We have like another episode left, right? We just have the.
I think there's just one more. I also noticed that he picked up that girl's body, so I'm assuming that's going to be the body double. For Dia.
That's what I'm guessing as well.
Yeah.
So, fine, decent enough episode. If you leave out the beginning, which I wish I never had seen, but
I mean, with time, as long as y'all just leave it alone. Just we don't need to be reminded.
Let's just not talk about it.
Like, let's
give it the old Morgan Freeman treatment.
Okay.
If you don't like incest, just don't talk about it.
Okay. What else? Let's see. What else do you want to talk? Where you want to go to next?
Our other returner this week was 86. Which
okay, so I'm just gonna be straight up. This episode did nothing for me.
Seems like we're in circles again.
Like, it seems like we are literally getting set up for the exact same ending as the first season. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, now we're back to like Shin and not being like communicative and like, like, what was all this development for, or pseudo development? And like, where's Elizabeth? Where's she at? Come on now. Like, it didn't do it. Once I started to think like, are we going in a circle? Yeah. Then like my hype levels plummeted so hard. I mean, I'm going to watch the fucking mecha battle. Of course I'm going to watch it next week. But am I going to be pleased with like the overall story? I'm kind of thinking, maybe not. Maybe yes. I don't know. They might pull some shit. Yo, if Homeboy's little sister shows up on the battlefield, I'm back in. Get her ass out of here. Get out of here.
Well, they can airdrop her in front of the rail cannon shot, just so that we know that bitch is dead.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be
get it out of here.
Take it to levels of weirdness that I don't think they're willing to go. I wish they would. I wish this would. I would. Yo. Anyway,
no.
So like if you wanted to get me back in, I need to see some brutality. Okay, that's one of the things that the show's kind of been missing, because when they took out the Albans as this sort of secondary antagonist, so you have like the Legion are the zombies, so they're going to be the ones that are tearing our heroes apart, killing people that we care about. And so that's like physical brutality. And then you have like the oppression on the other end with the Albans, who are like the slave masters behind cracking the whip. That combination can make you feel very, very attached and sympathetic to the main cast, right? So then when even like characters we didn't know, people that like they literally got introduced the beginning of that episode and they were dead by the middle. You felt something because you're like, even if you didn't know who they were, you're like, oh man, there's like one less person in the background and all these scenes. Like,
you see Elizabeth's jar get bigger, like, yeah.
Right. So what they need, and has been missing, I think, for the last, frankly, like 5 or 6 episodes, maybe like 4, let's say 4, is some either a return to the brutality on the human side or the brutality on the Legion side. We talked a couple weeks ago about how we felt it was a good thing that they were starting to give us more
insight to Legion.
Yeah, antagonists who were there, because then now you can sort of like match up our characters and their journey against what their opposition is, because before that you just don't know what's going on. Yeah. I would make the argument that we've lost a lot of the brutal side of the story, and a lot of it is happening like off screen. So here's an example of something, and I laughed before because when the thought came into my head, it was a horrible thought, but I've now formed it into like something like a little more concrete. So we know that all of the other nations that are collaborating with the Confederacy are kind of like on they're attacking, but they are attacking with like nothing behind it. It's like all or nothing, and they're pretty sure that they're going to die in the process, and they are undermanned. So wouldn't it be interesting that instead of like a lot of these, what I would say like rehashing emotional moments that the show's very invested in. What if we took that time and we showed what the battlefield was like for our non-protagonists? And like specifically the thing that made me like laugh because it was horrible is like, what if we saw in some of these other nations, like quick, doesn't have to be like long, that what they're doing is also super immoral. Like you see a scene with like, you know, different mecha clashing with the Legion. And remember we got that nice radio chatter from I think episode 7 when they were deploying and you're just hearing them like get killed over the radio.
Yeah.
But what if it was child soldiers in those machines, or like people, the elderly, people who like couldn't otherwise fight, but they were driven to the front lines. And this is all happening, but our protagonists don't see it. It's something that only the audience gets to see to like ramp it. So they're having these quiet moments, but then there's this horrible sort of like grinding warfare that's happening somewhere else. I feel like that would make me a little less irritated that nothing has seemingly advanced with them with
and friends. Yeah.
Well, I think
were you gonna say Kirito?
I almost said Kiri. Well, because the guy's name is Kiri, who also looks like him.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
But like Shin is the one who has not advanced. The other ones have actually all kind of become more well realized.
Yeah.
Shin is the issue.
I agree with all of that, and I just feel like the first season I had like a sense of terror, like constantly. Like there always was just like an anxiety in the air where I was just like, I don't know what the hell about to happen, but like it's gonna be bad, and I don't know if it's gonna be Elizabeth or them or it's gonna be both of y'all, but like. And now it's kind of just like, okay, so y'all are living, but like nothing. We're getting. They're telling us what the stakes are, but I'm not really feeling them on an emotional level. And I don't know if that's just like a translation thing between the like from the source material to the anime. Yeah. I don't know if that's what it is, but I've lost that fervor and like, you know, engagement that I've had from the first season this season, at least for the latter half of this season. The first part of this season was pretty decent, but now I'm kind of just like, well, damn, you can't be anime of the year, like at all. Like
I don't feel any urgency. There's no urgency right now. There's this thing, and it's not specific to like anime. It's true like all art, music, whatever else. There's times when like a creator or an artist or a team can get really attached to like an idea that they're doing and really lean into it, but it's unnecessary, right? Like this episode had like multiple like allegorical scenes, like the butterfly that was slowly getting eaten by the ants, like they would like cut to it, other things. And like these things are all like nice, and I've noticed that some of the reaction to 86 is that this is, maybe I'm saying this too sarcastically, they are saying that it's like art, it's very artsy and high-minded ideas that are like connected to this very zombie apocalypse type plot that's very brutal, and that's why it's great. And I agree with that. I think that like it has more to offer than just killing people with mecha stuff. However, sometimes it gets way up its own ass, like very, very far up its own ass, and it forgets what the formula is to make a story like this work out. We don't need to see Shin kind of back to the same spot that he was at in the previous season. If you want to do it, then you have to give a different angle on it than just the same stuff that he was repeating literally a year ago.
Why are they all caught out in the middle of Legion territory again?
Right.
Again.
Did they learn anything? What was like, I need to look at my character and say, I saw you in the beginning and you were like this. Now we have had many adventures and things have changed and you've experienced stuff. How have you evolved? Even if you're still not good, I need to see the point of change. And this episode felt like it was deliberately trying to pull the character back in order to create drama with this new antagonist that he doesn't really have any actual relationship with or connection with.
But I will give them, they do make, Kiri is more interesting to me right now than Shin.
I agree.
Like, and he's barely had any fucking screen time. So it's kind of just like, what is the disconnect between this? Like, is this the setup for them to be like future rivals for like a long period? Are we gonna get more like in-depth communication stuff broadcasted from the Legion? Where are the people from Alba? because I'm expecting like the uncle to show up as a Legion or some shit like that eventually.
Right.
And they won't know who the uncle is, but like we will, and we'll be like, oh shit, like give me something to like keep me engaged. Like, okay, I get it. The letters, they were crazy. Yeah, great. Frederica showed up. Yeah, great. We got a fucking carrier ship. It's gone. Next.
Yeah.
And now we got like a surprise ambush. Great. But along with all of this stuff, is just like, okay, but the underlying stuff, like this episode would have been much better if we had seen the president acting the fucking fool.
Right.
And following through on his shit. Where is that at? I don't want to see Shin in the same place for 15 minutes out of the 23-minute episode.
In fact, I think that's highlights the fact that I think they're a little too confident in their own characters, and it shows in places like this where they can't carry that 15 minutes, or at least the way that they're presented and the way they're written. Also, remember that this whole episode was like disjointed because they were constantly hopping forward in time, so you were getting these like scenes, and then you would like crash into the middle of another scene. Like there was clearly they're fighting their way to, you know, this destination, but you know, they kind of tell you more about it than they show you anything. And in fact, one thing I actually did not like was the scene. So the only mecha scene that we really get in the episode is when they are killing off a couple of like straggling Legion tanks. And the point of the scene was to indicate how we've been fighting all this way here, and we're kind of like banged up.
Running out of resources.
We're running out of resources. But the way that was communicated was all by talking. Like we get the one thing where he pulls the spike out, but then literally everything else was, oh, you're low on this. You're like, this felt like it was in the light novel that there were these pieces of dialogue. But this is a perfect example of where like show don't tell would have done a lot more, because then we spent the rest, because like how am I supposed to fucking know?
They could have done a death scare. They could have done a death scare.
There are other, like having, like he said that thing like, oh yeah, my left leg isn't working, or my engine, or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Show us that, right? And keep the damn thing moving. All these like stopping and like, oh, now we're gonna have a conversation next on a bridge.
Let's look at the field that looks like the ocean.
Like, no, I don't care. I mean this in the nicest way possible. I'm not here for that. That scene, we could have seen something that was happening back in Alba. We could have seen people flying to their deaths in these other machines. Like
that's the scene I expect out of my slice of life in rom-com shows. I don't care about that shit here. I don't care about that shit here.
Especially because they've indicated that they're not interested in killing off too many more of their core cast. Because realistically, the way that you would have done that is give us the first 4 episodes when they're chilling and then they're getting back to war. Then they join a new unit where we meet a whole bunch of new people, and the difference is these are all adults. And then we get like the whole like we as an audience, we don't want to accept these new characters. They're just fodder. But you introduce them, you start to weave them all together. Now they're a unit.
And now they're dying.
And now they're dying. And it's gonna mean something. And then we do this like, you know, long journey to get to this new boss that we're being introduced to. But they
keep one or two of them around.
Exactly. Like the guy with the gray hair, he becomes like a father figure, and like maybe there's some mechanic and this, and now you're realizing that like, okay, we were used to seeing all these kids getting killed at the behest of adults. Now we're connecting with this thing. We're learning about the Confederacy, all this shit. The only new character that we got added was Frederica, who should, by all rights, should not be there. I like her character. I like what she adds to the story. The fact that she is involved right now makes absolutely no sense at all. I'm willing to.
I feel like they're like shoehorning her as
exactly like yes, like, oh, you know, she's literally a cute mascot character. That's literally what she is in the world and in real life. She is a cute mascot character. And as much as I like her, she stands out because all of her dialogue is not the dialogue of like a 10-year-old.
No.
And that's the issue. Like, it's great stuff, but I don't believe this character. I don't believe that there's a 10-year-old.
And when you think about it being like, oh, well, she has that superpower and all that kind of shit like this, well, it's just like, well, is that superpower going to characterize her like completely? Because she still has all of the tendencies of like an 11-year-old.
Yeah. Except whatever. She's more emotionally mature than like the entire cast.
And I'm just like, so which one is it? Is it just like only parts of her are like extremely matured, or like can she turn it on and off? And it's honestly jarring when she's the one telling them all this shit. And I'm like, okay, but I know that you've experienced things through other people's memories, but it just still doesn't make, like, I would get this shit more if it was coming from their new commander.
Exactly.
But
yes. So off the beaten path. So I used to and still do kind of off and on write for children's television. And her character, Frederica's character, reminds me of something that happened in our writer's room. So we had written this season, it was like a puppet show, it was for kids. And one of the things that we realized is that after the first season of writing, is that in order to like introduce a story for children, we needed a character who could provide a certain kind of energy, right? So you can have like the teacher character, and you can have like the characters that represent different types of children. But what about a voice that can add a little bit of chaotic, maybe some sarcasm, maybe some cynicism, but without straying too far into it, because it's aimed at 6 to 10-year-olds. They're not going to
the emotional depth.
Exactly, right? So you don't want to take it too far. So we the head writer had come up with this idea for a talking computer. And at first we were like, how are we going to make that work? Because we were on a budget. But then as we all started writing for this character, every one of us was like, oh my God, this is great. Because you can have this character kind of say and do and push back in ways that you don't need to model for children. It was fantastic. So the character's name was Sade, but it stood for something. And so when we were writing, it was awesome. So we get to season 2 and we're doing the call for scripts. And when we started looking through everyone else's scripts, we were like, for some reason, Sade's character has taken over this show. And the reason was that she was the character that was the most fun to write for, and was also very limited, didn't have to move around. It was going to be like a green screen computer. And I feel like that's what Frederica kind of is in this season, where the author was like, they introduced this character and they realized like there's a lot, I can get a lot of like wacky, chaotic energy out of this character. I can do a lot of like emotional climbing with this character. I can like have them be a conscience. I can have them be a victim. I can have them be the focal point of all of like the major new story arc that I want to write. All of this in this one character. And what winds up happening is that she gets overwritten. And that's what I feel is going on here, is that Frederica is very, very overwritten. And as fun as and her voice actress is very cool.
Oh, slaying it. Just like annihilating.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
But like, I don't say I want her out of the story, but I wonder if we'd be doing all of this like circular navel gazing with Shin if Frederica was there. If Frederica's story had ended when they left the base, then having him be like brooding and wondering and doing all stuff, I could deal with that, because then it's like he doesn't really know why he's out there. Is he out there to help this little girl and have a new purpose, or is he out there to like die like he always wanted to? Obviously his team they've all grown. Every one of them is saying, I don't want to die. Bro, we're not in that fatalistic shit anymore. We want to live.
I'm confused because I'm just like, are you looking for different reasons to die? Like, but then at the same time, through looking for that reason to die, you're also trying to give yourself an excuse to live when you come down to like the moment of truth or some shit like that. Like, are you saying one thing, but you actually are just afraid for living for something else? So you just say you want to do this, even though you really don't want it. Like, if that's what it is, then I need more like hints that we're going that way, as opposed to just like, I want to die. I want to die. I don't know what to do after my brother. And, but I have this new guy that I like want to fight. Like, just say you like fighting, nigga. Just say you like fighting. It's okay.
This feels like a different story. Like what you're describing is a different story, a better story. I don't want to like be one of those people who's constantly like rewriting things. Obviously there's a reason why this is a functional story. So I'm not gonna tear it apart.
And you know what? I could be completely wrong. They could
shut me
the fuck up next week, and I'll be hey.
I reserve the right to be wrong right there with you. But my guess is that we could have done this in a slightly different order. Same set of facts, same character, same predicates, but I think it would be a lot more meaningful. I think the first thing, now that I'm going back, and the season's not over, we got one more episode, but we did spend a lot of time in the first 4 episodes with the main cast, and the story they were telling there was everybody else was trying to do things to kind of like see what a regular life could feel like. And for independent reasons, they all came back and said, you know what, our place, the place we're comfortable, the place we see ourselves is on the battlefield. And then that's level 1. And then level 2 of that is also, we're really good. And we like this place that we've found. And so the best thing we could do exactly is that now we have something to fight for. And it's okay if Shin is the one of them all who has the least purpose, because it would tie in to everything that happened in season 1, where like, you know, he was so used to all of his friends being the one who were going to outlive them. Now they're all looking past him. And what does he have left? He meets this little girl. She has similar powers to him. Maybe he gets connected to that other knight by interacting with her, and he realizes that like there's somebody like the same shit I went through with my brother is happening to somebody else who I actually kind of care for, and I could be the older brother to this person, you know, in my own head, for whatever, fair or foul. And then we just go forward with everything that we're talking about. But because we got introduced to what the challenge was immediately, all the other events like the Legion surprise attacking and the Confederacy kind of being on the back foot, and then the super weapon and the need for this like commando raid, all that stuff to me would then fit and slot right in.
Yeah,
and I agree, flow more. But it got all fucking disjointed after like episode 4, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, here's the part of the plot we gotta do. Oh, we gotta do this other part of the plot now. Oh, we gotta do this other thing now.
Maybe it's being made for the light novel people. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe it's like it's meant to be enjoyed by people who've already enjoyed the source material, as opposed to like an anime only audience. And if that's the case, then it makes sense, because the booping, I'm like, bruh, like you really aren't. You're not keeping my engage. I'm not staying engaged.
The pacing is all over the place.
Yeah, so agreed.
We kind of went in. I don't hate 86 at all. I think it's one of the best things that's running this season. It's just this is a problem. This is a narrative problem.
You can criticize things that you like, everybody. It's A-okay. Even though I know a lot of people on Twitter do not agree with that. The ability to do so. But
let me ask you, would we be less irritated if we hadn't like gotten so many weeks off?
I was literally now see, I was going to be rude. I guess I'll still say it. I'll be like, now how the hell y'all giving us this and you done had all these weeks off?
Bro, yeah, I was looking, I thought, we about to get a Sakuga fest? These niggas were like, nope, we're gonna stare at the fucking grass for 5 minutes. What? I was like air punching in front of my monitor.
I wanted them niggas to fight. I was like, if you're gonna be mad at him, we need to fight. Like, we need to punch, we need to do things. But then that wouldn't have been entertaining, because Shin is like nothing compared to, what is his name, Raiden? Or like Rai, whatever. I was like, homeboy been like, he worked for a moving company for a minute.
This dude be doing push-ups with niggas on his back. Like,
yeah, like you gonna get rocked. So I was like, okay, so we're not gonna have a physical fight. So then one thing I will say that I enjoyed about this episode with Frederica's character is knocking the romantic shit, just like annihilating.
That was funny. That was genuinely funny.
Yeah, that was like, funny. I was actually thankful for that, because I was like, thank you, kill this plot line. Kill it. Like, get it out of here. Like, I understand why you would have it, because, you know, there might be a moment where she's going to, like, talk to him and be angry at him about it, blah, blah, blah. But Frederica was like, he does not see you in a romantic way in any form or fashion. He probably sees you more so as a burden. Like, she just read the shit out of her.
Listen, she shut that bitch down. I like in the background, Anju was just like shaking her, and her head was just like, oh. You can't say that. Girl. Okay, I'll say something else that's nice, which is during the confrontation scene with Raiden, I actually liked one of the visual things they did where they pulled the camera back and they showed their two shadows overlapping with each other while Raiden was like in his face and then having them separate while they were talking. And the reason I love that is because what is the theme that's going on here? It's that Shin and Raiden are going into, they're very similar to each other, but they're going in two different directions there. And that's how that's sort of an allegory for the whole team as well, is that they're moving forward and this guy is like stuck. And I loved that visual when they did it, but I know that the niggas saw something else. I saw something else.
I got a completely different thing from that. I was like, this is a BL kissing scene. That was my exact thought.
Hey,
I was
like,
both? This is a BL. I was like, because I mentioned those shadows, and I was just like, oh, they're doing a shadow thing, and the shadows are like together, and then they came apart and together. I was like, okay, that was
why
just
not both?
It does not matter. In the bigger scheme of things, I know there's not a drop of BL in this show, like whatsoever. But the moment I saw that shit, I was like, okay, like my brain went.
Why not
give
everybody something? But that's what I took out of it because of the context of the conversation.
Yeah, that was another thing that I said during my video. I was like, I don't know if it's just me and like, it's the weekend. So like, I'm not trying to use that much brain power, but I was like, I'm not really getting a lot of the concepts that are coming through on this episode. I don't know if it's just because, maybe I'm not operating at 100% capacity today, or is it just because it's all over the place? And it could be a little bit of both, because I like noticed the stuff with the butterfly and things like that. And I didn't notice how they did the focus thing where they were like looking at each other on the bridge and it focused in on the train tracks and things like that. And I was just thinking, I was like, okay, this probably means something, but I'm not really picking it up because I'm still trying to process the previous scene where they were like getting supplies ready to send to y'all, even though they can't even get past the front line to get into the Legion territory. Like,
who knows what they're gonna do? Maybe we'll find out that they had a second airship and they're gonna do like a hot drop.
Yeah, if they got a second Nashtahar, fuck yeah,
that would
bring
be
it on.
Cool.
And give me my bipedal mechs.
Cool things
give me my bipedal mechs.
We're gonna be waiting a long time. Maybe some light novel person can show us like a cover that at least like tells us where some of the mecha designs are going. Because I know there are a lot of one of the reasons why I wasn't worried about like the Alban side is because I had before the show came on, I saw when I was looking at what 86, what is it? And like some of the later light novel covers after all this had both Shin and was Elizabeth. What's her name? The Alban woman is Elizabeth. Yeah, Elizabeth. Yeah, they had her on the cover too. So I presume like in some form or fashion that character was around. Like I just saw that, so I was just like, maybe. But we already know that they can take brains.
Oh, they fake they fake stuff out all the time. Well, yeah, and to be honest, I'm almost the longer that Elizabeth stays out of the episodes, the closer I am to thinking I was like, they got her ass. I'm thinking maybe that's gonna be the after credit scene on the last episode.
If we want to talk about speculation that's completely unfounded, I could see a scenario where Elizabeth's ghost is the ultimate commander for the Legion, because one of the things that they focused on in the episodes where this season where we saw what she was about is that she's a goddamn competent leader. So I could imagine a scenario. I doubt it. I think that it's more likely that her and the 86, like she took command of all the 86 forces. Yeah. And so it's more likely that they're sort of like fighting their own little perimeter war, trying to like hold on to that little, like instead of it's the kingdom of Alba and the 86 territory, it's just the 86 territory now. And so maybe when they break through, they run into them.
I would like that. I would like that a lot.
Yeah. So I think that's for the most part where things are going. So yeah, sounds like I was down on this episode. I wanted more. It's just I see the cracks. That's all. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with wanting more. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I wanted more. I just didn't have as many specifics as James did. But all right, let's go to Paladin.
So are you caught up?
Yeah, I caught up. Yeah.
Okay.
I caught up. So that dragon scene was like, damn, nigga.
Give him a goddamn Randy Orton RKO
like
fucking choked that man out. Yeah.
I was like, what the yo?
Sometimes the show
I
goes
actually really enjoyed I enjoyed the head priest. I really am enjoying that character. Yeah, I'm really enjoying him. Of course, like the crown prince or whatever, I was like, okay. Actually, one of my favorite things was about this week's episode. Was it episode 10?
9.
9. Okay.
Is it 9? No, it's 10. It's 10. Sorry. Last week was 9. This is 10. We're 10.
Woo. I really enjoyed is that when at the beginning of the episode, Will was literally thinking about, he was like, all right, how I'm gonna kill these niggas. Like,
I was good on that. He looked at him, he's like, oh, they're gonna be some problems.
Yeah, like I can take those two.
But he also was like, I got these motherfuckers.
Yeah. And he didn't even think about homeboy backing him up. He was thinking about like, what can I do to take these out? So I was like,
size them up.
I was like, yeah, this is like, I really wanted you to embarrass that nigga. But of course, as I predicted, now he's embroiled in all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he wanted like that one guy, like, or just because he wants this like one expedition to like do these demons. Now he's linked to the church and the government. And the prince said it himself, we can share the profits. Like, Will don't even give a fuck about that shit. Not even paying attention to it. And I'm like, do you realize that you're at the behest of these people? Like, I know you must have had some kind of like experience with politics in the other world before coming to this world. So you must know this. And I feel like he didn't really address it. Like, I felt like the majority of the episode was him just like looking up to the priest and just basically being like, I'm going to do these things. And, you know, it needs to be done. So I'm going to do it, which I feel like someone's going to have to sit down with him and have a talk with him and basically be like, listen, nigga, you can do all this shit for Gracefield all day, every day. But then once it's too late for you, when you basically can't do shit anymore because you've become too famous, you have too many people that got their fucking hands on you to where you can't act independently. You're a paladin now, which means like everyone's gonna know about your fucking name. And then also, this is gonna go into the conflict with the kingdom because he's a paladin of this city, not that kingdom. So it's just, there's just so many things that could just fucking blow.
A lot of depth and a lot of attention to, it's not just detail, but responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? Everything, and I've had some part of this conversation both here and in other places too, but I think that the best, I mean, you can tell stories any way you want. Like, you can, as a storyteller, you start at the end and say, I want to get here, so then I'm going to work my way backwards in the series of events, what needs to happen in order to get there. Or you can go from the ground up, where you say, I'm going to define a lot about the world and my characters, and then if I were to say put character A and B together in this place at this time with all that other history and lore and backstory and everything else, what would they do? How would that meeting go? And you work your way up from there. And this felt to me a lot like that example where we've been told more and more and more about how the world functions. And now we're getting characters who fulfill various parts of that functionality. And if you're used to watching, I don't want to say anime in general, but like you're used to watching throwaway, shonen, but like throwaway stories where like you look at a character and it's like, he's fat, he's ugly, and he rubs his hands together. He's a bad guy. And you don't have to do anything else with that. It's all about the visual told you the story, and then the writers often don't give you anything else. Here, and I think maybe it's like when you get a good, like a decent meal after having no food or very bad food for a while, it just tastes like the best thing you ever ate. The idea that the show goes out of its way to just subvert, okay? You think this guy's a piece of shit? I mean, he's an asshole, but then they give us a reason that actually is plausible as to like why he's an asshole. Doesn't make him a good person. It doesn't mean that like you have to like or enjoy what his character's on screen. But like when the priest is like, listen, I have the same blessings everybody else does, but you got to understand, if you just go around throwing them around for your own benefit all the time, people start to gain an impression about like what the value of these things are that's going to live past you, go broader, then you start to affect other people. I gotta do things to make this church work in this place with not a lot of resources and anything else, that means that people are not going to look at me like I'm an awesome person. And I believe in my God. Do I want to use my blessings and have my God's power be attached to the things that I've got to do a good job?
Bribery.
No. Right.
Like,
No, I don't. So I find people who can fulfill the public role, and I do what I have to do to make sure that this whole enterprise comes together. And that's it. And it wasn't him making an excuse for anything necessarily evil. It was just the way the world has to work in a very pragmatic sort of way. He's still a dick.
Yeah.
You know, we don't like him. But like
also he has like hints of like being a caring dick. It's just that, you know, you have to like get to know him to basically be like, yeah, he a dick to y'all, but he's actually like, I wouldn't say good, but like he lives by his own ideals and he backs that shit up. Like
he's effective at a very difficult job. And so Will identifies this. And so his I appreciate his inner monologue more and more, because he's looking and he's sort of providing to the audience, like, here's the way you might want to frame this character. This is what way I see him, you know, and it's intelligent. It's not just like, you know, it's not that he's easily, you know, manipulated. He is still naive in some ways, but like, no, I bought that reasoning. I bought everything. So now like that character feels like it has layers to it. And if he does something later on, I'm gonna think, well, is there another way to understand, rather than him just being the fat, corrupt piece of shit fake priest. I thought there was going to be like, he didn't even have the divine protection. He just be talking. It's the other priest, the one who was out, who really had it, and this is him blustering. But no, this guy was on his game. And in fact, even when he described to Will why he objected to him becoming a paladin, was very savvy and very aware. And he had that line, nobody else is around. He said, you know, we're in charge of the spiritual, but the prince is in charge of the temporal, which was the classic distribution of power between the clergy and churches and the nobility. So someone who wrote this did research. As they also did the full knighting ceremony, which is a very classic one of like that's a real version of it. I think it's German or something. Okay. It's like it's inspired by a real kind of ceremony. And there are many different kinds, you know, knighting and it can be very cultural, but like, you know, I like the attention to detail all over the show and in this episode. What did you feel about the one person I wanted to ask you when I watched the episode, Rastov the Penetrator? What did you feel about this character?
To be honest, on the first like encounter, I was like, Blood's reincarnation, but then I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So then I was like, wait, Blood's like illegitimate baby, like ancestor, like progeny or something like that. I was like, no. To be honest, I heard that name, I didn't even fucking blink. I was just like,
I looked at him like, this nigga's name is the Penetrator.
I mean, he has the body, like he got the build to make it look like. So I'm like, are you fighting with a spear? Like, what's it gonna be? I mean, I hope he joins. Well, I don't hope he joins the party, but I'm interested to see. I already like the dynamic between he and the Bard, where she was like, "Your ass never tells me anything, motherfucker. Like, I be on you, and you don't even help me." And he's like, "Why would I? Like, what do you like? Relax. Like, I'm trying to drink my fucking alcohol." I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the with Tonio talking about, all right, Will, we're gonna have to have a conversation, because like Will is just casually giving him money ideas, and like he's like, you don't realize how brilliant that is. Like, buy the sick animals, I'ma heal them hoes, so that way we get a discount and everything that we want. And then he was like, also, what else do you need for? He's like, oh, hold on, little nigga. He's like, now wait, we gonna do this and we do this. And he got to moving on that. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, it's so many things where it's just like those characters, they don't have to be combat focused, but like it's focusing on the multitude of aspects, on not just like, you know, being a paladin, but just like living in that world, like survival and navigating all that shit. And I think that's what's making it good to me.
It's a very well realized set of story and characters. I know that we talked a lot previously about 86, and that was really more because we had more criticisms here.
Yeah.
Faraway Paladin, again, just feels like someone's really good D&D campaign that they put a lot of research and thought into. And even though I would still say that we need a little bit more of an antagonist, we got a lot in the first half with all the stuff with Stagnate and whatever. They're setting up this like demon.
But Stagnate won't even be back himself for 10 years. We already know that. So then it's like, who is going to be the like Stagnate representative as far as like his disciples?
Are they? Is there any cost that the hero or Will specifically is going to pay for what he did in this, the meantime of the story?
Yeah,
I don't know.
To be honest, if they ended with like this like raid, which I'm hoping they're gonna finish the raid before the season is over with. We have 2 episodes left? That should be enough time to finish the raid. To be honest, I feel like Will won't even need all them people. He's probably just gonna go in there and waltz and do whatever the fuck he wants, and then maybe everyone else is gonna be like, maybe everyone else is there to protect like everyone else or some shit like that. He's like, I want other people to come with me. And he thinks he needs them, but when he gets there, he's not really gonna need them. And then be like, damn, can they protect themselves? They can. Great. I'm going over here.
Yeah, the good thing about Will's power set, as far as like a storytelling point of view, is that he is an overpowered main character, no question about it. But he struggles sometimes because when he's forced to think about the problem-solving aspect of whatever the combat challenge, and that's a good thing. We're in his head, we actually hear his inner monologue, so that adds drama, where if you took that away and he was just sort of like, I'm gonna body slam this wyvern, or I'm gonna like stab this guy in the throat, like it would just be actions. But we know that he is thinking a lot, so maybe it is a case where he runs into something that his current abilities don't really give him an instant act, because he needed help when Metal to get the dragon out of the sky. Like he was just shooting fucking lightning at it, and that wasn't working. So there's something there. I think I'm looking forward more to what the direction the story will be at when the season ends.
Yeah, I think there's probably I hope that it's not just like, yay, we did it and we're going back to the town. Like, I need there to be like and I say I need there to be as though like, this is missing something. It's not missing something, but I would like a lead in to a potential second season, even though I feel like that's definitely not going to happen, because this show is like non-existent. Like, I have seen no one talk about this at all. Like all on YouTube. Like, I will even go on YouTube sometimes and I'll look for other people's reaction videos for like, for different perspectives.
Hyped coming into the season. I thought that it was...
No, the first episode, like people were into it, but after the third episode, like there was like no one talking about this. A lot of channels dropped it. I dropped it, but I like, clearly I'm still watching it, but I dropped it on my channel because one of the videos, it took 3 weeks to break 100 views. Like, and I mean, my channel is not big by any means, but like, it don't take that long for the videos to break 100 views. Like, usually, like within like 5 to 6 hours, like if it's a show that people, my subscribers or just like in general watch, it'll break 100 views like same day. It took almost 3 weeks for this one video to break 100 views. And I was just like, bruh, like it's not bad, but it's like people not checking for it.
I'm curious, what is the big thing this season?
Well, a lot of people were waiting for like Demon Slayer. Yeah, Mushoku. Oh, Mushoku was huge this season. Oh my god, that turning point too. The turning point too. Wait, let me not say anything because you're watching it now. But yeah, Mushoku was huge this season. Like, people all over it.
I'm kind of happy I didn't know that. Like that I wasn't aware, because like there's this funny pressure where it's like you gotta watch the thing that everybody watching, and from a content point of view, I get it. I'm not saying it's not legit.
Well, yeah, but like you're not like an active like content creator that's like doing seasonal stuff. Like, it'd be different if you were like, doing something similar to like Mother's Basement, where like you have to cover. Well, he doesn't have to. He chooses to cover those things. But like, it'd be different if you were coming at it from that aspect. But like, You're just watching this stuff because you enjoy it and you watch it on your own time. And nothing wrong with that. It's just,
I just want something fun to watch.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of niggas don't have their own autonomy, so they don't know what they like. They have to look to other people to know what to like. And you know what? That's sad. And you go to therapy, but anyways, I mean, it's entertainment. It's entertainment. It's anime, but it's like, but that's also what leads to these like rabid stands for particular series. Because okay, next.
Great. So did you watch anything else this week that piqued your interest?
Well, I mean, Mushoku ended today. And Miyaruko ended today. That's about it. I've actually just been waiting to watch a lot of stuff for when my break starts on Wednesday. Wednesday at 2 p.m. I'm literally just gonna be like, all right, let's go. Like, just watch, record, edit. Like, that's gonna be my catch-up moment because I want to be like up to date on Platinum End when it gets to like when it completes.
Motherfucking Platinum End. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
Have you been watching Tact Opus? It looks like interesting shit's going on.
Yes, I have been off. I'm behind by 2 episodes.
Okay.
But yes, I have been keeping an eye on it, and it's a very all around solid show. I had some I was wondering what the scale of the world was going to be, given that we weren't. I mean, as far as I know, this is not a 2-core, so I think things are kind of have to wrap themselves up. And what we got was a little smaller than I expected, but that's not necessarily a bad thing at all. Like, basically, it has to do with what the main bad guy's plan turned out or is turning out to be is one where I'm like, well, yeah, that'll fit in the size of like a little 12 episode. But then when you think back to like what happened in episode 1 and 2 and like what instigated all of it, you're like, that was your plan. Like, so many things could have gone wrong with that. Towards the ultimate end that you were trying to get to. So I remain. I'm back by what episode am I on? I had
like 9 or 8.
9, yeah, something like that. Yeah, 9. I'm on episode 9. So anyway, I like it. Animation is slick. Music is really good. They do a lot of really cool like directorial stuff, which is like I wish more shows, regardless of budget. Like, there's this thing when Destiny will like come down. Like, she jumps a lot. And so she'll come down and they'll do this thing where they'll make sure that she'll slice down in like a diagonal way and hit the ground, and it'll be like a really impactful noise. The camera zooms a little bit and then pulls back out. It's little things like that that don't like matter in the scheme of things, where I'm like, they have whoever their segment producers are fantastic. They know what they're doing. And there's some really cool powers that some of the other characters have that visually look like. There's one of the villains has like high heels, but they turn into rollerblades.
Oh, those blades. Homegirl.
Yeah.
Like,
that is, she has one of the hottest designs. Like, just a great design.
Yeah.
Like, really, really, really cool.
That was the last episode I saw. It was with her and Valkyrie.
Was that like, it was the one on the train? I think it was
it was the train one. Yeah. That was the last one I watched. Bro, yeah.
Really cool. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening there. I should recommend it more week to week, but because I was back an episode or 2, I was like, whatever. No. But you're right. It doesn't get. I don't hear people mentioning it, but it shows up on Sakaguboru because it's a good looking series.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Actually, you know what? I'm behind on Osama ranking, but that's another one that like doesn't really perform well for me. But I'm still gonna cover it because it's really fucking good. It was just so sometimes I was just like, I don't feel like doing this today. So I will get caught up on that because that one's a 2-core. So it's going to continue into next season 2.
Yeah, I think World Trigger is going into its final episode. It's a 2-episode battle component, which is really a lot of strategy, a lot of like taking all the things that the audience has been taught about the way the powers work and the groups work, and putting it all together into like some cool shit. I will say that the pacing of World Trigger is always kind of on the slow side, and I think that they could have compressed 2 of the episodes that were kind of in the middle of the season.
They're still doing slow stuff even after that.
It's so slow. They could have compressed like 2 episodes to make room for 3 episodes of this final battle. But one of the upsides of the fact they went slow is that actually I feel like I really know a lot of the members of the other squads and their personalities and their abilities, because everything meeting them was so casual. It wasn't the usual shonen thing of like, oh, the next strong guy, I've got to go beat him, or like, oh, he beat me, but now I'm gonna figure. It wasn't any of that.
I'm gonna learn his technique.
Like,
yeah,
right. It was all like, oh, let's go out to Hot Pot, and oh, look, the others, someone from another squad is there, and then we have like fun banter, and then they'll tell you about like the personality of this other guy, and then you meet him in the next episode. Everyone's kind of like a little bit weird, a little bit quirky. I think the way I could describe it is like, I buy this sweet tea. Actually, I was drinking it just now, so I should probably stop. But like, it's not a lot of sugar. It's deliberately like 1/3 the amount of sugar that you would put in like a regular thing. And listen, I love me some goddamn sweet tea. Like that.
Well, you went to school at Alabama.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure you done got some
sweet tea. That diabetes water, it's great. However, I also just like tea. And I also do like a little bit of sugar. And the thing is that like you could say that you watered it down, but if you keep the same tea and just add a little bit less sugar, you're still getting the tea. You're still getting the sugar, you're still getting as much. That's what they do in World Trigger, is like you meet these characters and they're all normal people except for like a little teeny bit of eccentricity, but everyone's respectful to each other for the most part, and they all kind of look up to I'm saying everybody. Like they'll be on some squad where like the leader has some crazy ability, and then you meet him and most of what he talks about is some other squad guy that he really thinks is cool or like is a professional. It's all like
Oh yeah, because isn't there that guy who like, what did he do? He mastered like 3 things, but like I think someone talked to him and he was like, "Oh, but I'm still not as good as homeboy at this one thing."
That is literally the story for everybody is like that, and it's just like mutual admiration society that is there that is so unusual, because it's like imagine you have like a Japanese office building and like everyone in it is they're pretty competent at their job, but they also like respect everybody else, but it doesn't seem cheesy. It just seems like they're all pros. That's what World Trigger is. A bunch of professionals who are not like, they're weird. They're all weirdos. They all know that they're like a little bit weird. This kid's riding a fucking capybara. This other guy is like, whatever. It doesn't matter. So we got a lot of like good downtime with a large cast. So now that we're going into the last fight, I feel like I know everybody. And then when you see them in their more serious, battle form, and everybody's thinking and counter thinking and strategizing and making plans and trying to see how they work out, getting information. That's where the show and the manga and the story always shined. But I understand for people if they're like, I watched this season and 6 of the episodes were fighting and the other 6 were like people talking to each other in like apartments and office buildings, and I'm not into that. It's too slow. I have no argument about that. It is,
but it's a necessary part of the show, from what I'm getting. So yeah,
I mean, it's just the flavor of the thing.
Yeah, I did read the manga up until the end of the first season, and then I started watching those last few battles from the first season, and then I watched I think like the first 2 episodes of that second season. So
yeah,
I got a ways to go anyways.
The cool part though is that Mikumo is, you realize that he's never going to be like a power fantasy insert guy, but he gets more and more, but he grows in ways that are like attainable by anybody, because he's a good listener and he works hard and he like trusts his gut and he is pretty creative and a good leader, but he's not positioned as like the best. When they win as a team. They win because the strategy was good. It's not because like Mikumo found a new power, or the power of friendship kicked in and they just like wiped out somebody. It's a combination of like good luck.
Mikumo's been practicing something by himself.
Right.
And
it's always little things that he's doing to improve, and his character feels more confident. In fact, all the characters have overcome something. Usually like it's mental. So fun. It'll be over in the next episode, but I've enjoyed following it this season. And that was actually pretty much it that I watched that was anime. I don't know if you want to talk about any of the previews that have been dropping.
No, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah.
We will do that soon. Wait, okay. I mean, unless you want to talk about the biggest preview that just got released yesterday that people are still losing their minds about.
I think we should say something. So
let's say something.
Okay.
I mean, Bleach, y'all. I mean, listen, Bleach. It looks phenomenal. First of all, that music, fuck yes.
They gave you the OG battle music upgraded.
I don't know. I'm nervous to say something. I'm nervous.
The center of attraction. Yeah.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I'm just like, oh my God, it looks so amazing and I'm looking forward to it. But then I start to remember when shit went off the rails and I'm like, oh, but wait, you're gonna animate and then wait, and then like Aizen coming back, like, okay, and then
so we got, this is the assignment, okay? Bleach producers, the assignment is clear. There are things that need to be fixed that were in the manga. They need to be fixed. We all know it. Everyone knows it. Kubo knows it.
Please.
You need to know it, okay?
Please.
We're not going to have the Squad Zero get off-screened. We're not doing that, okay? We're not doing it. We're not gonna let that Kenpachi Yachiru shit just fucking disappear with no explanation after that one chapter.
Okay, so that
we're not gonna do that. Okay? We're not doing that stuff. We know damn
this is why I'm hesitant. This is why I'm hesitant.
We're not gonna do that fucking wacky 2-chapter ending where Aizen just shows up and then the bad guy disappears and he's gone, and then we just fast forward whatever it is, 20 years. We're not doing it. So you have things that you know that must be fixed.
That people did not like, and they let you know we did not like it.
Right. We let you know. We want these fights. We want the explanations that we didn't get in those chapters.
New fights that we aren't expecting. We want new fights.
Don't give us that shit with Baz B gives us a whole ass backstory about he's actually the other half of this other nigga's powers, and then he just gets absorbed and disappears before he does anything. He loses 2 fights, and then is gone from the story. But you spent like 16 chapters building up him and the friendship with that other nigga, like your watcher's right and left hand, all that bullshit. We're not doing that. We're not having Aizen pop up at the end in a fucking chair, and then he just like waves his little fucking pinky, and the story is over. We need more.
When Aizen showed up, I literally was just like, what was the reason for what was it? First of all, nigga, why you alive? And then like, okay, we can say this for, we can do a whole Bleach episode.
The producers know what the assignment is. We will know very quickly if they figured it out or not. We will know. This is not gonna be like, I'll tell you right the fuck now. You go for some 24 episode bullshit, and I'm not sticking around till episode 12 to find out that these niggas forgot that the Gote Squad Zero shit was like some utter fucking like BS, and then they just do the same fuck shit. If you do that, you will hear the longest, loudest, angriest fucking rant you have ever heard in your life. I did not wait a decade for any shit like that. I'm just telling you now.
This is why I said I'm hesitant, because I mean, it's not like they were afraid of like, it's not like they're afraid of Bleach fans, how like DBZ like producers are afraid of DBZ fans.
Right.
And like Goku. I don't think it's that level where they're like, if we don't give these niggas what they want, we're not about to make this money no more. And I think the hype is going to carry it a very long way. One way or another, I'm a watch to a certain point. And then if I see the same thing that like things didn't get better, I'm hoping they do get better though. Then I'm just gonna watch the fight scenes on YouTube. Like I'm not gonna invest my time for the disappointment. Like I want it to go well. I'm happy that we have it. I'm happy that we got a month. Considering everything that with Omicron going on right now, that might get pushed back. We never know. Mm-hmm. But hey, I'm I'm not saying, chill out, everybody. I'm not saying that. We are all this is a time for celebration, but also this is a time for paying the fuck attention and just this is a determining moment for these motherfuckers. Yeah, not for Kubo. Kubo's done his job.
That was fine. Yeah.
Kubo's done his job, and this can do whatever the fuck it wants. And then literally the day after the final episode, they'll be like, all right, Burn the Witch series coming next Cur. And I'll be like, okay, I'm here.
Like I said, this is very different, okay? I'm the first one to tell you that fan bases for anything are the worst. The demands that they have of creators are just insane. And that's when things go right.
We're not asking for that much, y'all. Y'all have had, do you know, go on Google and just type in 1,000-Year Blood War rewrite, or just like a fan fucking ending. Pick one.
I have said this.
Pick one.
This series, so I want to be consistent, okay? Dragon Ball, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. These are all flagship franchises. For some people, they changed their life. Didn't change my life, but that shit was fucking serious.
Yeah.
The problem that happens in other fandoms is that lots of people have different ideas about what they want, and the creators do not have the ability or the wherewithal or the money or the time or the interest in listening to filtering the good ideas out of that pile of garbage of demands and turning it into anything good. So that's their challenge. We've been down this road with other series. Dragon Ball Super is a perfect example. That's its own thing. And Dragon Ball fans are fucking weird. But what I'm saying about Bleach is, we know, and I say we, I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about Tite Kubo and every producer who is behind this. You know what's missing. You know exactly what it is. You know where it is. You have a blueprint of where you need to fill in. Just take all those chapters, lay the motherfuckers out, and be like, oh, well, this fight was too short.
Where'd that nigga go? Put him back in.
This guy go. Just make a map and be like, all right, this gap, we're gonna, you know what we're gonna do in this series? What all these other motherfuckers should have. We're gonna hang our nuts out. We're hanging these nuts out on the series. It should be indulgent. It should be, if that fight got
along the lines of indulgent. And you brought this up before, and I'm sticking to this. With Dragon Ball Super's budget and the money that they have behind that series, I don't want to see that shit with this. I don't want to see that shit. As James has said before, it made no sense that the majority of those Dragon Ball Super episodes looked the way that they looked. So y'all got the money. Y'all got the money because I know that gacha game is gonna fucking blow the fuck up now. Y'all got the money. I know y'all got the money. So
if the gacha, what was it? What was that other series that, like, if some of these gacha series alone, no Bleach, no anything else, they make so much money that you could produce whole ass anime that look better than half the shit that's like, out
Fate
of
Grand Order has funded full series, full other games off that gacha alone. Y'all don't play with us. I know you got that money. I know you have the talent, and I know you have the information from just like everyone over the span of time since the actual ending. So, and then we also have I still haven't read that sequel chapter yet. That's supposed
you haven't,
like the new thing. Yeah. So
it's setting up a new story. There's a whole other arc that's about to pop off. Like yes.
So with that, come on, man. Like, and I don't know. I feel like this is probably similar, and some people are gonna be like, damn, all you niggas did is bitch this entire episode. But it's not bitching. It's just like, if you don't say anything, it's not gonna get better. So somebody gotta say something. Somebody gotta say something. It's not that I don't like Bleach. I just know that you being a big three, and I'm talking about like original big three.
OG.
I'm not talking about like, Fairy Tail being big three for like 1 year or half a year, some shit and some other shit like that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like big three, like introduced so many people to anime, like by itself, was on Toonami, Like just like niggas popping in at random arcs in different places, stuff like that, being like, I fucks with this, I likes this, what is this? I want more of this, I'm supporting this. I just feel like the community is there, the money is there, the resources are there. It's just this you just can't fail this, y'all.
This is an opportunity.
You can't
just
fail
drop
this.
Your motherfucking nuts on these niggas' heads. Let them know. Let them know who the fuck they're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Just fix that shit. Fix it. We all know. There's no mystery. I don't want a line producer to be like, well, you know, we only had like one reference chapter for the Squad Zero fight, so I guess I don't want to fucking hear any of that shit. Don't want to hear it. There were so many rushed things. Just luxuriate. You should be like, we get a Bleach project. Don't they talk about like, oh, you know, we're
no, we should
time.
Get we should get
time now.
We should get several episodes of just pure Sakuga. That's what we deserve. We deserve it. End to end Sakuga. Have them niggas start working today and pay them. Pay them.
Go hire all those Korean studios that ain't doing shit right now. Go call them up.
Hire them. Go hire the people that y'all hired, or not that y'all hired, but like that MAPPA contracted for Jujutsu Kaisen. Hire them, pay them. Keyword pay them, y'all. Like I keep hearing so many horrible things about pay. In animation studios in Japan. Pay them. We're giving you the money.
It's unbelievable. I mean, like, again, if I'm focused, I'm ready, I'm focused. We getting Bleach next year. Apparently it's coming in October next year. Okay, we got a whole motherfucking calendar year. I seen those test shots they put in that goddamn trailer. It looked great. So just do that. Whatever that was, just do that shit and fill in those holes. You will have, this will be a legend. Niggas be talking about this shit like, hey, we thought it was dead. Bleach comes back. We're getting new chapters.
Listen, I want y'all to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Bro. Prove me wrong. Make me eat these fucking words.
Exactly.
Prove me wrong. Because I don't know. I'm tired of being hurt, y'all. Y'all gotta like, come on. I'm tired. Prove me wrong. And again, this ain't Kubo's fault. No. It ain't Kubo's fault. It ain't his fault. He got rushed on that ending. It was already kind of like falling apart before the ending was to
this man was struggling. Look, you know, we could go in. There's a lot of people like right now because the trailer's coming out and there's other, you know, positive news. Yeah. They want to go back and they want to be like, well, here's all the ways that this series wasn't as good as you thought it was. And it's like, bro, it's not about that. That's not the time for this. The Bleach retrospectives and all this jerking off, like, no. That ain't the time.
But they're gonna do it because people they want the engagement. So yeah, that's
but it's 10 years. It's been 10 years. This ground has already been turned over. You're not enlightening me on anything new here. We get what Kubo's limitations were. I don't give a shit, right? I want to see what he's good at. The shit he was good at, the show was character design.
Fits. Give me some new outfits.
Give me some new outfits. This is the drip era. This show coming back,
if they don't announce like a line of merchandise with this,
there were some swaggy ass motherfuckers in the 1,000-year.
I mean, a lot of it is just some belts, y'all. Like finally, like correctly placed belts, like holding together tattered clothing. Yeah. It looked good. Just sell us the fucking belts, okay? And then do some new outfits. Like have niggas get fucked up, and then as part of the new thing, basically by the end of this entire arc, everyone has new hard ass fucking outfits, character designs, no time skip. I don't want that shit. Just give us just please just don't give us what we already have on those pages. Don't just give us only that. Please.
The assignment is clear. Please. We all know the assignment is clear.
Okay.
You have the cheat codes. You got all the answers. You got the nigga that been studying this shit for 20 years. It's ready to go. So just don't fuck this up. You fuck this one up. I don't know. This could be like the Cyberpunk 2077 of anime.
Ooh.
They fucked this one up.
To be honest, damn.
They fucked this. So my fingers are crossed.
Cyberpunk? Like, I don't think they're gonna be that bad.
If they don't fill in those gaps, people are gonna react like that. That's what happened.
Yeah.
If it's as rushed in the
I'll react like that. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, like, and plus you showed us those test shots. Like, this looks good, y'all. It looks good. It sounds good. Oh man, when they get that into stuff, they start bringing back some of these themes, some of these that we hadn't heard for a long time.
The nostalgia's gonna get niggas together.
Right, but brought up to 2022. Come on, man. It's a whole wrap. And they had the nerve. They putting it out the same year Chainsaw Man dropping too. It's just the same year. But like, talk about anime of the year fights. It's gonna be some good shit.
Okay. Let's just we'll do a whole Bleach episode because this could turn to something else. Was there? I don't think there were any other. Oh, okay. So we'll talk about that. I was gonna talk about. Did you watch that damn Dragon Ball superhero trailer? Did you see that?
I did.
Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't care if you put him in the old clothing. It ain't doing it for me. I don't care. You put him in the new clothes. You put him in his old clothes. Great. What are you gonna do with the character? You might as well give the series to Pan. Give it to her. Just give it to Pan. Just give it to her because she looked better in that trailer than her daddy. Okay, from those two frames, I was like, yes, Pan. Wait, nigga, why are you wearing your teenage clothes? Who tailored that for you? Are you gonna do? I don't care about Mystic. I don't care about nothing. Are you going to go Super Saiyan Blue or not? Can you even get like? It's not that I don't like Gohan like as a character overall. It's just that the way that the series has treated him has made me think of him as a supporting character after a certain point, as opposed to like one of a protagonist that was supposed to take over for his daddy. So I don't know, like, you know what would have got me good? Jiren showing the fuck back up and basically being like, so since the universes are back together, we done found a way to hop over here real quick. Let's have that rematch. Let's pop.
Right.
I would have been down for that because superheroes, you know, they're like the patrollers of their universe. And like, apparently these guys are like superheroes, but like, they're like not, or like they're doing other shit. So like, you know, use those other universes.
Can I tell you what I want to see? They're never going to do this, even though they will make every other Dragon Ball thing on the face of the earth. Why don't we just get a good, solid remake of the original Dragon Ball? That's the vibe this movie wants to go for anyway.
Yo,
this is the time for it. Like, high quality. You can take your time. It doesn't have to be a year-round thing. Give us like 12. Do a volume, right? Just animate a volume. You can get all the nostalgia. You'll get all the
that's a really good idea.
All the original Bulma and like all that other stuff, and like you don't have to add nothing.
And this shit's hilarious.
It's fun. It is free money. Free.
Yeah. People eat it up because a lot of I feel like a lot of the niggas that are into Dragon Ball Z probably have never watched Dragon Ball.
No, and it would be fresh to a large part of that audience.
Yeah.
And it's aimed more at younger people than it is at old, even though it's got some good shit in it. Yeah. Absolutely. And I know that the one thing that they've been holding off for years, they do not want to do, is any kind of true DBZ remake, even though at some point the money will just be too attractive to do. But doing it with Dragon Ball means you can also experiment with some of the other art styles. Like I noticed in the Super movie trailer that they were giving a lot of CGI. Like they're trying to figure out
which I didn't mind that.
Work. Yeah, it's fine.
I didn't mind it.
I think that Dragon Ball FighterZ looked better than any Dragon Ball product like animated that including the movies. It's fucking fantastic. The last thing I care about is whether or not it's CG. I just care about the aesthetic and does it work. So I feel like there would be a perfect opportunity in a smaller canonical show to pull in a lot of, Anyway, I'm not giving business. These niggas print money anyway, but they print money on like dumb shit, right? Or like I don't want to say dumb, but like
what is this like the survival? I forgot the battlers.
Yeah,
whatever,
like
whatever
why are we doing? Why are we doing like one versus many survival game with like it's like I get that it was like a fun idea one programmer had, but then like what's the depth of a game like that? You're gonna run from
now if they had announced that as part of like multiple game releases. Then I'd be like, oh, okay. So they were working on multiple different projects of different genres and they released all of them at the same time. Yeah. For this one to get so much like spotlight.
Yeah, it wasn't a weird. Yeah, I know. I think people were expecting it was going to be something else because of the way it was teased a little bit. And I think that we could have a whole other conversation about like franchise management, but the Dragon Ball games by and large have had this weird decade-long or more trajectory where like the ones that sell a lot and make a lot of money are also the ones that are like the least the ceiling on the impact that they're going to have on the future of Dragon Ball is like the lowest. Like Xenoverse made a shit ton of money. Xenoverse 2 made an absurd amount of money.
Really?
Yes. To the point that even I don't know how many years it was after release, they're still releasing.
Yeah, they're still releasing DLC for Xenoverse 2.
Yeah, because it is like one of their biggest franchise hits. But the thing is, like, nothing about those games pushes us or Dragon Ball into another anything. It's just like it's like every little tiny detail that ever existed in some other Dragon Ball property. Let's just shove that into one game, but it doesn't go anywhere. And you know, it's like people reliving the same. I don't know if
well, you know how hardcore people are as far as like nostalgia,
right?
Like,
so if we're gonna do that, if we're gonna do nostalgia, let's just go and do prestige products. I think that's what I'm getting at. Dragon Ball FighterZ was a prestige fighting game. It pushed things forward. Up to that point, no other game looked and felt the way that game did. It brought back Marvel versus mechanics that are basically out of fighting games for like 8 to 10 years.
I've never played the fighting game for as long as I've played FighterZ. Like,
and it
actively
sold
over a long period.
Right, and it sold great. I want that same mentality that the people who clearly loved that game and loved that product, I want that brought back to TV. I want that brought to the movies, and I want it brought to these other ancillary products, because you can't. If we were talking about Gucci or like some other luxury brand, would they put out something that at least, you know, didn't have the feeling like it was not trash? Would they shovel you a bunch of bullshit?
Now that you say that, you know, one brand that like without a doubt steps with only like my pussy's made of diamonds. Square Enix.
True.
Square Enix.
True.
They Lightning and Gucci, Louis Vuitton. You got Cloud out here, Molly Noctis out here in all these other games. They literally are just like, we are royalty and you would treat us as such. And also, we're going to try to cross over and get that like money from these other people also.
Bro, it's the craziest thing.
Like, so it's like comparing those two brands, because like Final Fantasy hasn't been around as long as Dragon Ball.
No, but no, your point is correct. But like, yes, the way they deploy Final Fantasy and other things like that they're like, we want to be cool, but we also want to be hip and feel like we're a little upscale. It's accessible, but it's not.
And so when you say prestige, as far as like DBZ fighters, it's a different realm of prestige. But if you can do it once, you can do it again. It's possible, and it's also possible to transfer that. So like, you know, Lightning really didn't hit as far as like, you know, Final Fantasy 13, the game. But as far as like marketing wise, the look, the merchandise, everywhere, done.
Bro,
done.
We should table part of this conversation, because it made me think about how these, like, a lot of these anime, they'll partner up with fucking a coffee company, fucking dishwashing detergent, but let you, a little 100 subscriber YouTuber, use like 5 seconds of their audio, and they're coming at you with like every cease and desist in the world. I'm like, do you think those other official collaborations you were doing are really raising the level and impact of this shit? You really think that? You think Evangelion branded fucking coffee filters, like that's the That's the move.
Honestly, the move is exclusivity. Them doing it so much, so often, makes it less impactful. I don't really give a fuck about it. While with Final Fantasy 14, for instance, they had this like pizza emote that you can get from ordering some from Grubhub, and they were like, you have until these dates, and then that shit's never coming back. You're net like that was the only way you were able to get it. Like, we're not bringing that shit back. Exclusivity. Like, and Grubhub, you can order all kinds of shit. You can order shit. You can order fucking like high-end sushi. You can get like, barbecue. Like, if you want to be fancy, you can get fancy. You can get your little pizza thing. But also, like, there's a I don't know. It seems like there is a want to elevate the brand constantly. And it seems like DBZ people, they're just content with just like, as long as it's making us money, do that shit. Bro, just do that shit.
It's just a whole other thing. Yeah. But anyway, I think that I'm, as far as the movie goes, fine. I'm fine. We'll see.
I'm gonna watch it. Right? I enjoy Brawly. I enjoy Brawly.
I like the little. I don't like all the spin-off ones that aren't canon too. Like, I was the guy who was watching like the return of Cooler and all that shit. Like, some of my greatest memories growing up was watching Toonami when they had like the DBZ movie block, and none of that shit was canon. Where's Turles? That nigga was a fucking Goku clone. We never saw that nigga again, right? So it's fine. I'm cool with them making some like extra content and get Gohan doing something. Whatever. I'm cool with it.
We shall see. But then, is the movie gonna be canon?
That I don't know. It's
okay, because I feel like I don't know. I just know that as a person who doesn't read the Super manga, if this movie is following the current arc in the manga or is like being inserted in an arc that's already happened.
I don't think so.
So
I think it's its own thing.
Was the Brawly movie referenced in the manga in any form or fashion? Because the Brawly movie was supposed to be canon.
The Brawly movie is supposed to be canon. It's just not in the manga.
I don't know.
We're dealing with some nigga named Granola right now. Okay, Brawly's out. I don't know where he's at. We fighting Granola.
Well, apparently Brawly's supposed to be like an ally now. Okay,
I don't know. Listen, I don't want to hear shit from nobody. I didn't sign up for that. I'm just saying they say what they're gonna say. I believe. Listen, here's what's canon. If it shows up in the motherfucking game, then I believe it. If it's in Fighter Z, if there's an extra character,
Android 20. What is it? 21.
Yeah, get that bitch in here. 21. Yeah, get that 21.
Laboratory code version.
Yeah, they did. Listen, I thought they were done. They're like, nah, bro.
I thought they were done too.
Money, baby. We still printing money, baby.
I'm surprised they haven't released the complete edition.
Hey, there ain't no such thing as a fucking complete edition. They're gonna keep going.
I saw a lot of people asking. They were like, thanks for the new character, but rollback code.
Roll back that code. Where the rollback at, nigga? Run your pockets. Where's it at? No, it's real. But yeah, so
they're gonna need it now because motherfuckers gonna be locked down again soon, whether they like it or not.
Through that. Okay. So,
all right.
I think we got our shit off today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it in me to do the other things I was going to talk about today. I'll do it some other week. Y'all already know what it is, but you'll figure out when it comes. But that's all I got for today.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Let's get the outros out of the way. If you've made it through this whole episode and you don't know that we on YouTube now, like we're on YouTube, like these are video podcasts in addition to like regular podcasts now. So if you want to see, I mean, if you want to see facial emotions, what they do, it does add a lot to it. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I would say this should be the preferred format of consuming it, unless you're on the go. Don't watch that shit in your car. That's crazy. Then come on over here. I need to mention this earlier in the episodes now because I'm pretty sure niggas are probably like, well, shit, I done listened to the whole fucking thing already. So yeah, video format. We're on TikTok and they didn't take them down. Okay. Which that format, like let me know what y'all like about the format and like with the waveform thing. And you can chat it up on TikTok because we be there. Also, thank you to what was it, like Moody Senpai? She commented on our discussion on like, like healthy harems and stuff, I think like a week or two ago when we were talking about I think Assassin and things like that. And we're not ignorant niggas. So yeah, it's we're not really about to be talking about girls like that. Like everyone has their own autonomy. But if you haven't already, follow us on social media. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. The Twitter is anime_savants, and then everything else, YouTube, which you probably are on now or you're not, but YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, it is all just regular at Anime Savants.
Yep, you can catch me on Twitter at Neural Handshake. For some reason, I've been getting some bots adding me. I don't need any of that bot action. I thought I was free of the bots. So if you're a real person, if you're a real nigga, you're gonna follow me on Twitter. I'm done with
the Russian prostitute bots are just like random rent. Oh,
they're definitely prostitute bots of some kind, but they have random ass names. I'm like, how do y'all still keep getting through this filter, man? How? I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is, y'all. Peace out.
Bye.